Okay, thanks for being with us again, Gemma, for Women's Boxing Wales, past, present, and future. I wanted to ask you about the event you were at the O2, if you could tell us a little bit about that historic occasion and what it meant to be involved in it.
Yeah, so that was a whole different level of event. So I was asked to go up for the main event. So I knew I'd either have Clarissa or Savannah. I've worked with Clarissa before. But when I got there, I was assigned Savannah. And yeah, there was only myself and another lady who works for the BBBFC. So she's in the London area. So it was myself and her that were assigned the main event. And even just sat there, like, I got excited because Nicola Adams was next to me. And, like, I've loved Nicola Adams forever. And it was just, like, she was there and it was so busy. Like, I've gone to so many shows where the undercard is empty. Like, the arena's empty. But from the beginning, I think because this was such a one-off, such a special event, the arena was packed from the very first fight. And every woman that came out and boxed on that show was just like another level. It was just something really special. We did have an issue with groin protectors because in some countries women don't wear them, but here they do wear them. So we had to kind of, like, once one fight finished, borrow one to put on, like, 2 fights ahead. And we were like, has everybody got them on, just to make sure that everybody was protected. But even watching some of the undercard fights, like, you could see how much of a big deal it was just to be on that card. Like, it was, even in the hotel, like, we were put in the fight hotel, and, like, to see so many, like, women boxers just, like, walking around with their teams and stuff. And then, yeah, the main event was just, I think from about 8 o'clock I was in with Savannah, because as soon as she starts wrapping hands, that's when we can't really leave as inspectors. And even then, being with the likes of Peter Fury, just listening to him talking to her, she's the most calm person ever. Like, the whole changing room was just calm. And a contrast to when I was in Clarissa's, because that was like a big party, Savannah was very calm and just in the zone, and she had some 80s music playing, and April Hunter was in with her. Then Huey Fury would come in, and then it was like door closed, nobody's coming in. She was very much just in her own little zone. And yeah, and then even when she did her ring walk and she had the Jill Scott, the England footballer, walking out with her, we were just like, this is insane. Like, everyone that walked out had like a performance put on, and Tom Grennan was there singing, and it was just, it was surreal. It was. And then, like, the crowd, it was a who's who that was in the crowd, because we'd got to ringside with her team. And as I've looked, like, I could see Ricky Hatton, David Hay, Dizzy Rascal, Richard Riakpo. Like, it was just a mixture of so many people, and the arena was packed. It was absolutely, even ringside, like, we couldn't move. It was packed. But it was, the atmosphere and everything was just insane, and it was all because it was women.
Was the atmosphere different backstage to other shows that you've worked?
Not really, no. I think boxers are boxers, and they're very stuck in the routines that they have. Like, there's certain ways that people do things, and no, it was busy backstage, because I think because it was such a big event, there were so many different, like, television companies and social media people that wanted to speak to them as they were in and out of the changing rooms, and, like, before fights, after fights. And it was busy. Backstage was busy. It was really busy. But again, you kind of, when you work with these people quite a lot, it was pretty much the same as any other show. But just the difference was it was all women.
Yeah.
It was so good.
And Lauren Price on the card as well, which is
yeah,
exciting.
Which I didn't get to watch her box, because the time she came on, I had to go in with Savannah. So I missed Lauren, I missed Caris. Caught the back end, I think, of Caris's fight. But yeah, the card was good. It was a good card to watch.
What do you think it's done kind of now moving forward? Do you think it's changed things? Like, has there been impact?
I'd like to think there has been. I'd like to see another card like that. I'd like to see them more often. I think it did secure a place for women in boxing. What Ben Shalom did with Boxer, and just having an all-female card, has never been done before. And yeah, I think it did open up a lot of doors. I think it gave a lot of young girls an insight into what it's like, and that actually there is a place just for women's boxing. Yeah, I'd like to think that it's made a difference. We haven't seen another card like that yet. But who knows? Hopefully.
What was it like
We'll do
coming back
another one.
here? Like family gym, was everyone really excited for you?
Yeah, my daughter's probably not as excited because I hate the cameras. I hate the cameras, and I'm quite good now as when they come in of knowing where I can position myself that I'm not going to be in the way. But as soon as they started wrapping Savannah's hands, I knew I couldn't leave. So I'm sat here, she sat in front of me. I'm watching what's going on, and then like Sky Sports came in. I was like, oh man, I can't get out of this one. So I'm just sat there like watching what's going on, and she's chatting to the guy. And because my watch is connected to my phone, my watch just started buzzing. We can see you, we can see you. I was like, you can see me on the camera going, oh God, oh God. But it was literally like the whole interview, I've just sat behind her like, watching what's going on. But I hate the camera, I try and avoid it, but sometimes you can't get out of it, and it's part of, I think I'm just in a very privileged position that actually I was a small part of such a big night.
Yeah. What's next for you then now as an inspector? What have you got on the card?
So probably the biggest show we've got coming up now will be Joe Cordina. So Sandy Ryan's been announced on there for a title fight, so fingers crossed we might get a couple more women on there. But it's good to at least we've got one. We didn't have any for a little while. She's on for a title fight. Joe's up for his next world title challenge. Yeah, Wales has got a few shows coming up. So, yeah, we're in a pretty good position with professional boxing.
Exciting. Thank you. We can wrap there.